Hello and welcome to my channel. Here is another snack idea you can try out for Christmas and New Year and also for business. Now let's get at it. So for this recipe I'll be using corn flour, about 1 cup of corn flour, which is 117 gram. Tiger nut milk, my flavor, my milk flavor, my vanilla flavor. The full recipe will be in the description section. So if you can observe, I'm using a method that is similar to that of making kokoro corn sticks. So after dissolving my corn flour in water, I measured my sugar and my flour. So I measured about 200 gram of flour. I added sugar, salt, margarine, and then I made everything into a starch. So there is something kind of unique about this recipe which you get to know as you watch. So in my pot I added half cup of coconut milk, half cup of water, and then when it's boiled it's gelatinized, and then I added my flour and margarine and sugar together to make a starch. This is chin chin recipe, or let me say chin chin flakes recipe. It is very dry, very crunchy. It did not soak up oil. So after then, I allowed the dough to cool and I added extra 100 gram of flour. My initial intention was to use about 400 gram of flour and 100 gram of corn flour. So after mixing, I observed that as I kept on adding more flour, it did not solidify, like the dough was so soft, and I kept on adding flour. Even at some point, I had to just leave it and go and sit down and came back to it. So as I kept on adding flour, it was still soft. So you are going to see what happened at the end of the day. As you can see now, it is becoming strong. It is becoming strong because I wanted to make another type of recipe. This is 360-degree baking explore. So I want to explore another method. I want to explore another recipe. So later I add an extra sugar. The flour is matched already, so I added about an extra 30 gram of sugar. I wanted to make chin chin flakes with corn flour and all-purpose flour. So at this point, I think it has solidified to some extent. And then, I think I was satisfied enough. And then I began to roll it. So in total, I used about 600 gram of flour. The full recipe will be in the description section. Thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this moment, if you are a new subscriber or if you are a new viewer, you are welcome to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for stopping by again. Thank you for watching again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So I decided to use my cookie cutter for the chin chin flakes or chin chin chips. And because it is Christmas and we're in the Christmas season, I used more of the Christmas tree themed cutter. So because the flour was much, I don't want my flour to be too much in my oil. I had to sieve it and I cut some into square shape. You can see the frying, and I fried it. It was crunchy, it was nice. And the remaining dough, I just put them together and cut it into chin chin shape. So I think the mistake I made here first was that my all-purpose flour was too much to make my starch. I use about 200 gram. So if I'm doing it next time, I'll use a little quantity of all-purpose flour and corn flour for the starch. It was crunchy, it was yummy, it was delicious. So you can actually try this out this holiday as a snack for your family, for your friends, for your visitors. and you can also make it for business. Here is the chin chin. It was delicious, trust me. With just the few ingredients, it was crunchy, it was delicious, it was flaky. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.